Hey, what's up, everybody? In this video, I'm going to talk to you today about why I chose the 2016 Cadillac Escalade ESV over the 2016 Range Rover. Now, for me, it was a battle back and forth in my mind for a few different months of which truck should I go with, but I ultimately ended up choosing the 2016 Cadillac Escalade ESV over the 2016 Range Rover. Now, here's a few different reasons why I chose that vehicle instead of the Range Rover. Well, the first thing is the wife liked it. Okay, she liked the Escalade ESV better than the Range Rover, and happy wife, happy life, right? She really liked the vehicle much better, and so that's one of the reasons that had a lot to do with it. I'm not gonna lie, but also there are many other reasons. Now, let me tell you, I'm not here to bash the Range Rover. I think it's a great product. I think Land Rover is a great company. I'm not here to talk down on the company or their vehicles at all. Okay, but I just feel for me personally, the Escalade, and for my family, the Escalade was better. Now, the Range Rover definitely has a style on the outside. I give it that. It's definitely a beautiful looking truck. All right. It definitely has the style on the inside. All of the different buttons you can press, the wood that's in it, the seats, everything on the inside of the Range Rover feels like a luxury foreign vehicle, right? But sometimes, style is just not enough. Now, we should all know that whatever you purchase, style wears off. Style wears off. You get used to it. You're driving it every day. It gets dirty. It gets used. It has wear and tear. And it's never the same after so much time. So for me, when I picked this vehicle that I picked, it was about longevity and it was about other factors that matter. So let's get into those other factors. One, the Escalade ESV is just a larger vehicle. It's way longer and it's taller. So for me personally, if I'm going to be in a truck, what's considered a truck or SUV, I want something that is bigger. I don't want to be in a Range Rover and then an Escalade ESV pulls up next to me and I'm looking up at the driver, right? I just feel that if I'm going to buy a truck, then I want something that's bigger. And the Escalade ESV is a large vehicle. Okay, so I mean, for me personally, the Range Rover is like a big, large crossover. It's kind of like it's a car with a truck body on it, and I don't really consider that a large SUV. Okay, um, but again, like I said, it does have the style. The Range Rover does have the style on the inside and outside, but sometimes style is not enough. If you're thinking about just right now and you're excited and you jump into something just because of the way it looks, great. But for me, I was thinking about, a year or two down the road. Now, on the Escalade ESV, it does have more room inside. When sitting in both vehicles, you can't compare it. You cannot compare it. The amount of room overall on the inside of the Escalade ESV is a lot more. Okay, so just around your arms and just what you feel when you sit inside the vehicle, you feel like you have a lot more room for yourself and for your passengers. Okay, and that was a big part of it. Now, also, it was the leg room. Now, here's something that I really didn't like about the Range Rover. Okay, when I got into the Range Rover and I did a test drive, I'm 6'4". Okay, now for shorter people, it may not be an issue. But in the Range Rover, the 2016 Range Rover, when I got in the vehicle and I was test driving and we drove everywhere we drove, the driver's seat does not go back that far for somebody who is of my size, which means that my leg is bent at a certain angle that is very uncomfortable to be driving. Now, myself, I don't like to fly. I like to do road trips. I don't like to get in airplanes. I will every once in a while. But for me, I have no problem getting in the vehicle, driving across the country, spending 15, 20 hours on the road. That's just the type of person I've always been. So for me to test drive a Range Rover for a few minutes and my leg was hurting because the seat won't go back, Imagine if I wanted to do a road trip. Imagine if I had to drive around for an entire day or run a bunch of errands. It's not a cool thing. So to fix that problem with Range Rover, they either need to make everything under the engine much smaller. That way the firewall can be pushed out more and the pedals can be pushed out more. Or they will need to make the back seat go back further, or they just need to just extend the vehicle even longer. But for me, it was very uncomfortable. So if you're a larger person and your leg has to be bent like a lot to actually put your foot on the pedal and drive like that, it was very uncomfortable. And the Escalade ESV is a larger vehicle, and the seat goes back much further in the Escalade ESV than it does the Range Rover. So when I'm driving the Escalade ESV, it just feels much better for my legs, and it's a vehicle that I can be on the road for a very long time and feel comfortable. Okay. Again, and for, like I said, with both vehicles, you have a big difference when it comes to the room inside. If you have kids, if you have a family, the Escalade is going to be more of a fit for you if you're traveling, if you're running errands all day with the family. Kids, they get agitated, they want to be able to move around a little bit, and you're not really going to get that, in my opinion, in the Range Rover. It's really tight in there. In the Escalade ESV, you've got a second row and you've got a third row where your kids can be in the second row and you can be in the third row. And as a matter of fact, I believe even on the short body Escalade, there's a third row in that vehicle. I'm not sure, but I know for the Escalade ESV, it's just much more room inside. Okay. Also, if you want to put luggage in your vehicle, you've got way more room in the Escalade ESV for luggage and just storage than you do in the Range Rover. Okay, so the vehicle is just much larger inside. It's much more comfortable to ride around in. There's much more space, and I just thought it was just a better fit for that. Another issue, and this is very important. When test driving both of these vehicles, for me personally, there's no comparison when it comes to the ride of an Escalade ESV compared to the Range Rover. The Range Rover was just much more bumpier, and the Escalade was much more smoother. Okay, it's just the Escalade ESV is just a very, very smooth ride, and you can't compare it. You can't compare a Range Rover when it comes to how it rides, the smoothness compared to the Escalade ESV. So that had a lot to do with it also. What other things? I jotted these things down, guys, so give me a second. Now, here's something that would probably matter to people who were to buy a used Escalade or buy a used Range Rover. When picking both of these vehicles, if you're ever going to have any type of issues, your vehicle's out of warranty, right? You're going to spend a lot more money. You're going to spend a lot more money to repair that Range Rover than you are to repair an Escalade. Listen, I've had a foreign car that was out of warranty, and it cost me so much money. And it has nothing to do with the fact that it's a quality car. Listen, all vehicles break down. I don't care if it's a Rolls Royce or a Lamborghini. At some point, mechanical things are going to need to be fixed. All right? If you have an out-of-warranty Range Rover compared to an out-of-warranty Escalade, trust me, it's night and day when it comes to how much you're going to spend as far as any type of repairs. So for me personally, I probably would never have my car that long that it would be out of warranty. But if I did decide to, I'm happy to know that the things that that I'm gonna need repaired on the Escalade is going to be way less than it would if I ever had a Range Rover. Okay. Now here's something else that also matters. That was for me personally. Okay. Again, this is for me personally. Now, being that this is a General Motors vehicle, Cadillac, it's a good chance, not for everybody, but for many people in the United States, there's a good chance that you have an immediate family member where you can get GM pricing, where you can get a GM discount, a family discount. Okay. And that was for me. I was able to get the GM discount for the Escalade which knocked about $9,000 off the sticker price. All right. The chances of you being able to find some type of, if I don't even know if they even offer it, but the chances of you being able to get some type of family discount or something on a Range Rover are probably some slim to none, I'm guessing. Okay. You know, General Motors is everywhere here in the United States, and a lot of people have family that work for General Motors. So you can get an employee discount. I don't believe that you can, you know, really get a Land Rover discount. I'm not sure, but I don't believe you can. Okay. And the last thing I want to say is there's way more service centers here for your vehicle. Okay. If you ever needed to take your Escalade in to get service for whatever reason, okay, it could be something big, it could be something smaller. You have service centers everywhere across the United States for servicing your vehicle. With Cadillac. With Range Rover, it's going to be very limited. It's night and day compared with the amount of service centers that there are in the United States. Okay, so these are many different reasons why I feel that when you purchase a vehicle, you can't just be thinking about how the vehicle looks, how it looks inside, how it looks on the outside. There are many factors that you should put into your mind before you just rush and go buy a vehicle. Like I said, I thought about this back and forth for a while, and I feel overall, over time, I will have made the right decision when it comes to being able to deal with my Cadillac Escalade and all the different things that it provides to me. Okay? So that's my time, guys. Please comment below whether you agree or you disagree. I'd love to hear from you. Like I said, this is not a bash video on the Range Rover. It is a good-looking vehicle on the inside and the outside, but I feel there are much more other reasons why you should choose a Cadillac Escalade ESV over Range Rover. Okay, guys? Thanks for tuning in. Peace.